and welcome to this week's look at action and stunts on film. This week we are looking at Firepower from 1979 with James Coburn and Sophia Loren. Action coordinated, of course, by the legend that is Terry Leonard and his small band of stuntmen. Let's take a look, shall we? So here we go. Lift is coming down, and outside the lift is stuntman Dougie Robinson. Inside the lift, James Coburn chucking cash everywhere, look. Doors open. Dougie says, "Hello, what's this? I'll have a go inside." And would you believe it? He gets shot. Charming. Now, not content with that, Coburn then goes off to start planting landmines, limpet mines, to the underside of these jeeps. Bear this in mind, this will become apparent later on. He's going to do it to two of the jeeps, not the red one, because he will be riding in the red one. He will also do it to the helicopter that's just out of shot at the present time. So he puts these landmines in place, and they will feature in the major action sequence in the picture. He's now going to run over and jump into a passing digger. Look at that, that's convenient. And he's going to have the most fun you could possibly have on the set. He has said, in point of fact, that this was, for him, the most fun he had in the movie. Up on the balcony there, Billy Horrigan and Marc Boyle. That's Marc hanging off in the blue shirt there. Coburn is doubled by three people in this particular sequence. Dougie Robinson is one, Alon is another, and Terry Leonard. They all take turns in driving this digger. And, you know, how much fun is this going to be? What did you do today, dear? Well, I drove a digger through a house. Not bad going, is it? I mean, look at this. This must be enormous fun, crashing through absolutely everything. We're going to lose Billy Horrigan again in a moment. I said a very small stunt team comes crashing through here. Billy will then come racing out, and here he comes, bang, and gets shot and goes over the top of a table. And here is a really interesting little gag. There's Dougie in place. Top of the stairs, Alon and Glenn Randall, right? Bang, gets shot, both of them. Roy down the stairs, Glenn over the balcony, over the banister rather. And James Francisco, or Franciosa, there he is. And look at him, he's actually leaving that banister as it's being demolished by the runaway digger. Look at the movement there. It just starts to move and he's still on it. Now, he's a major actor in the picture, and he doesn't land very well. Look, he's landed awkwardly and is falling forwards. Oh dear, there's a whole... This is a Michael Winner picture, so the idea that there would be health and safety issues shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody. So it is a little concerning. Just to the left of shot, incidentally, if you look right to the very left there, is another camera position. Which was used for some of the other shots there. So you do see the cameraman standing over there as well. But I tell you what, too close to call, I reckon. Now, you've heard of planes, trains and automobiles. Well, this is a section we like to call Cars, Horses and Fireballs. So here are our heroes, and they're being brought out to face the guards. Now, the guards, of course, are played by stunt people. And he's telling them all don't panic. There's Terry Leonard. Sophia Loren goes round. She's going to go around and drive. There's Alon pointing a gun at James Coburn and being told, "Don't panic, hang on. Go, go, go," he says. She says, "I'm trying, got it in wrong gear. Right, off we go." And all the driving here is done by Alon for Sophia Loren. And the guards, of course, the horses get spooked. So this is the major sequence in the picture. Roy doing the driving. There's a helicopter that will follow their work as they go around, and that will report back. It looks as though Sophia's having quite a bit of fun driving or not driving the Jeep properly. Anyway, so off they go. The helicopter is going around giving information back and saying exactly where they are. That information is being relayed back to the horsemen. And there it is. Now, their first issue is with a couple of guys on horseback. One is Billy Horrigan, and the other is Glenn Randall. And they're going to turn up any second now as this Jeep tries to move its way through. Billy Horrigan is in the blue shirt. We're going to isolate these two falls for you, right? So the first one, Coburn, out of the back of the Jeep, shoots both of them. Shoots Horrigan first. Look at his foot there, right foot, and he's in an L stirrup. This is a saddle fall. It gets a chance to push down and push away from the horse. So there's no fear of him being dragged by that horse or getting caught up in any shape or form. So he falls as far away from the horse as he possibly can. That's called a saddle fall. That's a very good example of a saddle fall. The other, Glenn Randall, is using a toe tapper. A toe tapper has a wire which is attached to two leather couplets which are on the horse's front legs. And I want you to pay particular attention to Glenn's right arm, just behind his right leg here as he pulls up, and the horse's front legs come up and down goes the horse. And that's how they create the fall. And it's all done in a matter of seconds. The horse somersaults over, gets up, walks off, not a problem. But that's called a toe tapper. That was introduced in 1969 from Yugoslavia. So it was still a relatively new piece of kit they were using there, but it became essential. They used to use a thing many years ago called a running W, which was much more complicated and much more dangerous, to be fair. Here's Terry Leonard again, making another appearance. This time he's going to perform a cannon roll. Roy is driving the Jeep there, of course, doubling Sophia, comes up here, sharp left-hand turn. Terry doesn't make the turn, so he comes along at speed, throws the wheel to the left, and if we pause the clip just here, there he is wearing a crash helmet, so he's ready to go. With his left hand or right hand, he will have a trigger switch, which he will push now, and look at the back of the vehicle, which rises up as a nitrogen piston is shot out from the bottom. Nitrogen piston is shot out from the bottom of the vehicle, throwing the vehicle over onto its side. That's a cannon roll. And it's also nice in this instance, you don't see the cannon nowadays. You can remove it with CGI in post, but of course there's dust everywhere, you don't see it. And then it all blows up. So that's another great moment from there as well. And now this leads up to the major gag. This is the major gag that's coming along. This next couple of moments here, they've got a little bit more driving to do. The helicopter there is now giving instruction to the police car, which is situated here. The police car is driven by stuntman Marc Boyle, and he has been asked to intercept this Jeep. Off he goes. The Jeep is coming up towards this here in the road, an obstacle. Roy must now swerve and avoid that vehicle there, which is being driven by Terry Leonard, and he rolls that over. Marc, of course, does a ramp roll and lands, a ramp jump rather, and lands in the middle. We just go back and check that again. There, see behind the steamroller, there is Blue Barrels. The Blue Barrels little ramp behind that just gives Terry enough chance to cover it. So, vehicle loses control, bangs into a tree, and of course Sophia was doubled there by the lovely Roy Alon, who's looking very well. So what we're going to do is we're going to hand over now to a little piece by Terry Leonard, who will explain about the toe tapper and that particular sequence, this new sequence we're going to watch in the movie.
This will be a very good point to move to a particular movie. In fact, this was the first movie that I ever saw you in, and this was with turned out to be a great friend of mine. I got to know him over the years, Roy Alon, British stuntman that you worked with on a movie in the 70s called Firepower. A number of extraordinary action set pieces in that. There are many involving horses, the toe tapper particularly, on the beach sequence. There is one sequence, of course, which stands out for me, which is the three of you. I think it's you, Glenn Randall, and Roy in the middle, going through the plantation and the helicopter exploding, and there's the three of you go down together. How was that sequence worked out? Because you coordinated that as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did. We did the helicopter explosion, which was not tied in, if I recall, not tied into the helicopter explodes on an individual shot. Yeah. And then the switch that falls down from the exploding helicopter starts to land on us. Uh-huh. And we gelled the horses, and we came in underneath the a parallel where they dumped all that stuff off of, and we fell with the actual. We did the falls. We somersaulted those horses in the fire. Of the schwitz is supposed to come out of the helicopter. It's pretty real. I mean, you can't put a fire suit on a horse, but you got to make sure they don't get burned.
Absolutely.
So we gelled them with fire gel and judiciously placed where this stuff was supposed to fall. So it came down in front of camera, in between the horses and all that. Yeah, some of the stuff landed on the horses, but we had people there with fire extinguishers, which is going to scare the shit out of a horse.
Yeah.
Excuse me, scare the hell out of a horse. But he's on the ground, so you can at least get the fire out. But we didn't burn a horse, and we got burned a little bit, but that's no big deal.
So this other section here is the final section in this action sequence, which is there's a fire sequence here. The guys arrive on the beach. Our heroes are aboard the plane, and they are trying to get off the plane. The two guys behind, you've got Billy Horrigan and Marc Boyle, and the actor here is being doubled by Dougie Robinson. A flare is fired into the fuel that has been spilled everywhere from the seaplane, and these are partial body burns, but I must admit, they're very realistic. There's Marc Boyle, lots of protective gel on. They've got gloves on. The existing heat of the island already. There's a lot of breeze going on there. Look at the way in which the flames and the smoke is billowing. It's tricky, and then they've got to bail out into the water. But it's a very exciting sequence. Absolutely, very, very exciting indeed. And then, of course, we should look at the end titles. It doesn't give an awful lot away. Terry Leonard, Glenn Randall, Marc Boyle, Alon, Billy Horrigan, and never mentions Dougie Robinson at all, which I think is a great shame. Also, the helicopter sequence there, it says by John Crewdson, flew many occasions on Bond pictures and provided helicopters for Bond pictures, and was, of course, married to British stuntwoman Gillian Alden. There you go, that's it for this week, and thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and to the YouTube channel. Just push the button that's down there. It's as simple as that. Until next time, bye for now.